What is success? Today we are going to speak about the 3 key fundamentals of success. Remember Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7 that get wisdom, but with all thy getting, get understanding. Underlying the concept of understanding and wisdom. My name is Prof Herbert Johnson, the president of JBI-University, and today I want to speak to you about the 3 key fundamentals of success. 3 key fundamentals of success. 3 key fundamentals of success. When you speak about success, you don't only speak about attainment of vision, attainment of goals, or attainment of results, but also you speak about the contentment and the peace that comes from the runway of the pursuit of those things. Because remember, peace and contentment is part of success. So let's speak about the 3 key fundamentals of success in the physical world. If you are in this world, what are those things that are general, divine, and also physical that are going to help you to be successful in this world? Number 1, we speak about laws. Laws. Number 2, we speak about principles. And number 3, we speak about patterns, which you can literally call LPE. Laws, principles, and patterns. Now, in life, you need to understand the laws that are subjected to your success. You need to understand the principles that are subjected to your success. And also, you need to understand the patterns that are subjected to your success. Now, on the face of the earth, every operation that is physical on earth, there is a law that subjects it. And what are laws? Laws are systems and structures that are responsible for the attainment of anything on the face of the earth. Let me now use an example of gravity. Gravity is a law that is under a system that is responsible for subjecting the movements of any object within the orbit or perhaps within the face of the earth. So that law of gravity becomes a system that subjects the movement of any particular object to make it fit within a particular structure. For example, if I build a house, that house, the structure that has been completed, everything that was to the climax of that structure had to be approved by gravity for it to be there. Perhaps you cannot have a roof hanger alone. That means if the roof is there without the structures, without the walls, the law of gravity will not allow the roof to be there. So that means the law of gravity becomes a system that subjects an object to become a structure. Now, you need to understand everything that you are going to do on earth. You need to understand what is the law, whether is it a system or a structure that is going to help me to achieve the attainment of my pursuit. Because whether you're a businessman, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a leader, whether you're a professor, or anybody who has been called in any particular endeavor, there are laws and there are systems that are within your pursuit. So you need to identify what are the laws that govern the area of my operation, what are the laws that govern the area of my success, what are the laws that govern the area of my function. Then we speak about principles. And if you remember, when I was giving an exposition on principles, I talked about the priorities that are within principles, the values and the goals that are within principles, which is subject to purpose, destiny, and assignment. Of course, which we call the PDA principle. Purpose, destiny, and assignment, or which you can also call pursuit, development, and attainment in the business side. So when you are building a successful endeavor in life, you need to ask yourself, what are the principles that are going to be a determinant factor for the pursuit of this particular goal? Because a principle becomes a roadmap that is going to give you the daily discipline of priorities, of values, and of goals that are going to be subject to your purpose, to your destiny, and to your assignment. So you need to understand, as a businessman, what are the progressive endeavors and principles that I'm going to subject myself as a business person to reach the climax of my vision. If you are an entrepreneur, you need to ask yourself the same particular question. If you are a leader, you need to ask yourself the same particular question, and those are principles. Remember, we are talking about the key fundamentals of success in life. Then we speak about patterns. So what is a pattern? A pattern is something that you get that is going to help you to live within your principles that are subject to a certain law to attain results. Is anything that you develop that is going to help you live within your principles and also be subjected to the laws to reach the climax of your vision. Now, let me give an example of what a pattern can look like. Let's use the example of the DIPP principle. The DIPP principle, the daily intense progressive pursuit. So, if every day, for example, I'm going to live life on a certain gusty of audacity to reach my pursuit and to reach my progressiveness. And let's give an example. If you work 17 hours a week, not 17 hours a day, right? That's too much, crazy. So if you work 17 hours a day, that means you're going to have an equivalent of 120 hours a week. 120 hours a week. Now, this is the mastery of pursuit. Anybody who works 17 hours a day can be able to, of course, operate within the law of double effects. You can do more of the effect of other people if you work this much crazy. It's a principle for greatness and for the achievement of results. Now, if you work 120 hours a day, you are going to realize, okay, 17 hours every day, they're going to give me maybe a certain result. A certain result. Then that means if you do 120 hours a week, they're going to give you certain results that are from the 17 hours every week. So then that means those 17 hours, those 120 hours every week, you're going to multiply them times 4. So that means you're going to know the unique value preposition of your availability in 1 month. So that means you are going to be able to determine what's your unique value preposition in 1 month. Then that you multiply that 1 month times 12. So that means you are able to get your unique value preposition in a year. Then that means you're going to be able to know, okay, this is what I can achieve in this particular 1 year. Then you can multiply that 1 year times maybe 5. Then that means you're going to know your unique value preposition within 5 years. Now that's how you lay a platform and a pattern to be able to be successful in life. But you need to identify what is the law, what is the principle, and what is the pattern. And then you establish daily, progressively, that pattern to lead you to the achievement of your unique value preposition in the long run, in the long term, and also in a long way to achieve mastery. And that's what we call the law of progressive success, which is laws, principles, and patterns.